Yo, what is up, fam? It's your boy Legend, and I'm back with another video. You already know what this is just by looking at the thumbnail. Now, if you guys enjoy the videos, enjoy the content, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe while you're at it. But without further ado, I'm not going to talk too much. Let's just get into this intro so we can start this what if. A clone of Naruto burst through Danzo's office. It's only been 27 minutes since he was formed. As he made it to Konoha going at top speed, the clone informed Danzo the situation before it dispelled. On the outside, Danzo was calm, but he was a wreck on the inside. Anbus, bring me Gaara right now. Danzo felt the change in air pressure, signifying that they were gone. He clenched his fist and slammed it through the desk as it broke. First the Akatsuki, and now his student and his team were on the verge of death. Time skip. 12 minutes later, Gaara flew above Naruto and his team as he grabbed them with his sand before going back to the village. Out of all of them, Naruto looked the worst. His skin started to turn blue and he was unresponsive. The girls were a lot better, though they lay unconscious, shivering from the pain with hollow breathing. Gaara finally made it to the village as he took them straight to the hospital. Tsunade already had a room ready, so she immediately got to work on Naruto while Shizune and the other nurses worked on his team. Tsunade ran a scan on Naruto before cursing. He had poison traveling through his veins, and it was feeding into his organs. Naruto had at most 4 hours to live. Worst case, he would die in the next 30 minutes. Tsunade had to do a risky procedure. She would have to forcefully stop his blood flow while keeping his heart beating. She needed Shizune for this. Get me Shizune right now! Tsunade yelled to the nurses as she grabbed a handful of acupuncture needles and put them in Naruto's pressure points. Meanwhile, Shizune showed the nurses how to purge the little bit of poison that remained in the girls. If it wasn't for them taking in Tsunade's cells in pill form, they would have died a while ago. Another nurse came in and took Shizune to Tsunade. Upon entering, she saw Tsunade place a chlorophyll patch over Naruto's face to put him under. She then cut open his side as her hand glowed green. As she reached in and slowly started to pump his heart. Shizune! The boy is poisoned. He has it running all through his veins, and because of the Nine-Tails chakra inside of him, the poison is getting stronger. Shizune moved forward to assist. She had to take a different approach, so she started at his pressure points. Tsunade put her mouth to Naruto, trying to keep him alive at all costs as she blew her breath into him. Almost an hour later, Anko was sitting outside Naruto's hospital room with Danzo, Jiraiya, and Ayame. Both girls had tears in their eyes. Tsunade came out of the room, exhausted, before saying that he'd be fine as everybody let out a sigh of relief. You all can visit him, but he won't be waking up today. His body is exhausted and he needs rest. Sasuke arrived seconds later as Tsunade finished speaking. Sasuke and Anko went into the room just to see Naruto, even though they knew that he was resting. Sasuke looked down at his friend. He knew Naruto was far from weak, so whoever did this to him must have been far stronger than he was, or Naruto just got reckless, which he highly doubted. Anko sat next to Naruto and grabbed a hold of his hand as she wiped away her tears. Sasuke rose an eyebrow, seeing the affection that was coming from the woman, but he said nothing. Sasuke started to wonder what Naruto's relationship with Anko was. As far as he knew, Naruto didn't like Anko, but here she was, holding his hand, while he's unconscious and injured, like they were a couple or something. Sasuke soon left, going to visit his first teammate, Sakura, leaving Anko alone with Naruto. Hours passed, as it was now dark, and the hospital was no longer taking visitors. Sasuke had to get Anko, who was asleep, sitting next to Naruto. She was there all day. Sakura was fine, along with Ino and Hinata. Apparently, they would be able to leave tomorrow due to Tsunade's cells purging most of the poison. The most they would have to deal with would be their injuries. The next day, the sun rose over the Hokage monument. Currently, Ino was the first to get released from her hospital and was free to go. She decided to pay Naruto a visit. She entered his room and he was asleep. She frowned. She actually wanted to thank him for what he did. Because of his willpower, she was still alive. She walked closer and brushed a loose strand of his hair from his face. Upon further inspection, Ino couldn't help but smile. She always saw him when he was serious in training, but now he was calm and peaceful. He looked cute. Ino decided to give him a kiss on the cheek as a thank you. She turned away and started to walk, but soon stopped. She walked back to him and whispered his name, getting no response. She didn't know why, but she kissed him again, this time on the lips. They were soft, and she enjoyed it as she leaned in again, now making out with the unconscious Naruto. She didn't know why she felt this way. Maybe it was hero worship, but she didn't care. She was in bliss, with his and her lips connecting. She then quickly pulled away as she heard the door open as Hinata, Sakura, and Anko walked in. Ino fixed her shirt from leaning over and kissing Naruto as her face was bright red. Nobody seemed to notice, but 3 people did. Hinata saw her kissing her, Naruto-kun, as she walked in. Sasuke simply whistled as he sat on the windowsill with Hanabi. As the two smirked at Ino, Hanabi wasn't really mad. Yeah, she liked Naruto, but she wasn't obsessed like her older sister was. But if Anko would have seen what had happened, she would be livid. Meanwhile, in Naruto's mind, he stood in front of the gates that held back the Kyuubi. One predatory eye opened, revealing a full mass of the fox. So, you finally come here without the cursed eyes of that Uchiha. You say their eyes are cursed, but it depends on the user of the eyes. The fox laughed. Foolish boy. It doesn't depend on said user. Each Sharingan comes with the same curse. If an Uchiha hears what he doesn't want to, he will turn into a machine that causes pain and suffering to everyone. Do you even know how he got his eyes? Naruto shrugged. He thought I died when we fought the One-Tails. The fox laughed some more. Stupid child. That was a lie. He awakened them earlier than that. He got them when he thought that he killed you, when the two of you were being trained under Danzo. You longer than him. Naruto narrowed his eyes. What makes you think that? Why would I trust you? Just because you're out of earshot of the old Warhawk doesn't mean I couldn't hear him. Flashback. Danzo spoke to a figure in the shadows of the root base. I plan to manipulate Sasuke into awakening the next step of his eyes. I'm going to break down his lowest barrier, but it will only be temporary. Later that day, a 10-year-old Sasuke was shoved into a room with Danzo following behind. Sasuke saw Naruto sleeping in his bunk bed as Sasuke turned to the paler than normal Danzo. Danzo pulled a kunai and handed it to Sasuke. I have no use for him. You will be the one to kill him. Sasuke went wide-eyed. He was just asked to kill someone that he's grown close to since Itachi. I won't. I can't. Danzo opened his one visible eye. If you don't kill him right now, then I'll do it. Then I'll kill you and sell your eyes to the highest bidder. Sasuke shook and nodded as he made his way to Naruto without hesitation. He slit Naruto's throat and plunged the kunai through his jaw. As he watched the blood pool around him, tears falling from his emotionless face as he squeezed his eyes closed, and when he opened them, there were the Mangekyo Sharingan. He then stopped crying as he looked at the body confused. This wasn't Naruto, it was Danzo. No, it was a blood clone of him. End of flashback. That doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. So what if he chose not to use his eyes? They caused him to go blind. Naruto knew that wasn't the point the fox was trying to make. His point was that Sasuke actually killed him with no hesitation, but Naruto chose to believe that. Believe what you want, pathetic human, but you will come to see my words true when your so-called brother turns his back on everyone. Now, leave. With that, Naruto faded out of the mindscape. As he started to wake up, he was immediately grabbed into a hug by Anko when he sat up. At first, he didn't know what was happening. Then he looked down and saw a small piece of the curse mark. His mind immediately went back to his fight when that woman used her curse mark. Naruto's eyes became red with slits as he pushed Anko off of him and grabbed her by the throat. Everyone was confused and didn't know what to do. Naruto had a tight grip on her, but as Anko struggled, Sasuke was about to step in, but Naruto went back to normal and dropped her as she fell, gasping for air. Naruto looked around the room and everyone looked scared except for Sasuke. That was foolish of me. I mistook you for someone else, an enemy, and acted rash. Anko looked up at him, clutching her throat. She could only guess this was his way of saying sorry without saying sorry. Apology accepted, she said. Naruto looked at her as she stood back to her feet. It wasn't an apology. I was just admitting a mistake. Naruto looked around the room. Where's Ino? Hinata tensed at the question. The image of her stealing a kiss from her, Naruto-kun, still fresh in her mind. She left maybe 30 minutes ago? After we arrived. Naruto nodded. He would have to wait till Ino came by again so they could start their training in Fuinjutsu together. They already talked about it in private while they were on the mission. Ino was going to help with the village barrier, and she needed to know the art of sealing as well. Just then, Danzo came into the room. All was silent as the temperature dropped from Naruto's doing. I need to talk to you. Everyone should leave. I need a word with the Hokage in private. Danzo knew Naruto had something that irked him. He didn't call him by his title unless he was pissed. Everyone fanned out of the room as Naruto reached to his side and grabbed his pants that were folded on the chair. He pulled out a letter he read at his homeland and gave it to Danzo. Explain this. Danzo took it as he read it. He then looked up at Naruto. You already know that I wasn't the Hokage at the time. This infuriated Naruto. Was this man taking this as some sort of joke? I don't give a damn if you're a Hokage or not. What I want to know is why my family was left to die, to fend for themselves, and all you guys did was play bystander when they were allies. They provided you with kenjutsu styles that some Ambu use and scrolls on basic sealing, a female Uzumaki, actually 2 female Uzumakis, and you just let them die out? Do you even know what I saw when I went there? I saw the remains of my pregnant grandmother as a skeleton, unborn child still lay curled up on her pelvis. Then there was the rest of my clansmen. They were skeleton. The floor was stained with their decomposed flesh, and it still smelled of old blood, urine, shit, and death. Danzo waited till Naruto was done with his pointless tantrum, because that's what it was, a pointless tantrum that held no relevance. Naruto, Sarutobi was the Hokage at the time. I was only an elder that gave advice, and leader of an underground special shinobi unit. He could take the advice, but in the end, he was the one who made the decision. Whether or not he chose to do anything or not is his decision in the end. Naruto looked at Danzo, still pissed off, before he spoke. It's fine. It's in the past. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. What the hell? Naruto thought. Why would he wouldn't dare say that about family, no matter how distant or something they were. Naruto flared his chakra, breaking the hold Danzo had with the Sharingan. Don't fuck with me! Stop trying to pull these mind games on me with genjutsu. I'm not in a damn mood, nor do I have the time. I want answers. Danzo sighed as he made a hand sign as the room glowed before dying down. Sarutobi wanted to help, but he was persuaded otherwise by the elders. My former teammates told him that sending our forces there would be a waste of resources. None of my roots were to be sent. None of the Anbus, no Joni, no Chunin. We got multiple distress messages pleading for help, but Sarutobi chose to just turn a blind eye. This was one order that I had to obey. I wasn't going to cross the Hokage on this matter simply because things won't go as planned. One slip up and we would have been at war with both the Cloud and Stone like we are now. So yes, we did turn a blind eye to the matter. Deal with it. It is in the past. If something angers you about it, then take it out on those who destroyed your home through physical action. Naruto clenched his fist before he got up and got dressed. He then turned to Danzo. You and Sasuke are the closest thing that I have to family at the moment. But try and manipulate me like that again, and you'll be down one shinobi and one Jinchuriki in this war. With that, Naruto left through the window. He wasn't in the mood. He was still in pain, phantom aching, but he didn't care. He needed to let off some steam. He made his way deep into the forest of death before he heard a lot of rustling as he turned to see a brown bear 3 times the size of a normal one. He was so pissed at the moment that he didn't even realize that he'd awakened his bloodline, as 5 golden chains came from his back and pointed themselves at the massive animal. By the end of this, I'll be the new alpha of this forest. The bear stood and showed his teeth, standing well above Naruto as his chains shot forward. Meanwhile, in a faraway place in the forest, a figure ran through it, hopping tree to tree at top speed. As he looked back and cursed, "Damn it! I can even use the full extent of my chakra against this guy." He quickly made a hard right as he turned and pulled out his small blower to his mouth. Water style, bubble jutsu. A cluster of bubbles spewed out of it, and they were immediately torn straight through as many wooden spikes shot through them, as some of them embedded themselves into Utakada's leg as he fell from a tree. A figure then blurred in front of him in a perfect body flicker. He wore a sleek, all-black cloak with a hood, and his face was covered with all-white swirling masks. "Toby must take you now. You look as though you can't run anymore. Don't worry, Toby makes 6 tails relax." Utakada looked up at the childish fool. "I won't be going anywhere with you. I'd rather die before that happens." Utakada pulled upon every ounce of his chakra as his body started to change, as he transformed into the massive 6 tails. Oh, Toby can make bigger figure too." Toby slammed his hands together as a massive wooden Buddha with 10 arms rose up. "Ta-da! I told you I can make one too. Mine is bigger than yours though." Toby sat on the head of the statue and looked down at the 6 tails as it started to spit acid. Toby clapped at the failure, only to piss it off as a giant slug crashed itself into the statue, nearly tipping it over. "My turn. Toby will make this fast as possible." Toby moved the hand, and the statue responded as it took hold of the 6 tails and pinned it to the ground. He did more hand signs as the statue then started to come apart and wrap around the beast and light up with seals as the beast started to revert back to normal, leaving an unconscious Utakada. "Super Toby 1, this guy is 0. Meanwhile, Itachi looked up into the sky. It was about to rain. Itachi knew it was almost time for him to fight with Sasuke. A tear fell from his eyes as he smiled. He would give Sasuke the fight of a lifetime. He slowly opened his eyes. In his left eye, it was a 4-pronged shuriken and 3 prongs in the center. And in his right was the normal 3 prongs of the Mangekyo Sharingan. Meanwhile, Sasuke walked through the forest of death as he came up to Naruto, who was petting a bear 3 times his size. He and Naruto stood and went to leave the forest, but Sasuke seemed off. He seemed paranoid. The two then stopped because of Sasuke as he pointed to the bark of a tree. It had a message carved into it. It was the reason why Sasuke was paranoid. The message read, "They will never see me coming." But guys, I'm going to end it off right there. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe while you're at it. But without further ado, I'm out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.